specialist such and such sneaking out. He's been hanging around this 1E4. And she's a nurse or works over at the cache. It's not going to go anywhere good. So I'm like, okay. So that night at Chow, he's eating and she's sitting by him. And this fucking female, I shit you not, is pick the meat off the bone ugly. Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. Alright, some first sergeant stories. Alright, so again, these jump around. I don't remember the order they're in most of the time, but yeah. So basically what I did as the first sergeant is I tried to do everything that the first sergeant before me didn't do, which was communicate with his troops, walk through their barracks, inspect their shit, answer their questions, look out for their general welfare. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a first sergeant. And the lapdog that I replaced didn't do any of that. He laid low and said, suck it up, and everyone thought, hey, that's just the way it's supposed to be. Well, I got another thing coming for you, you piece of shit. You fucking did it wrong. All right, so, as a first sergeant, you got to do a health and welfare from time to time. All right, that's just the way it is. I tried not to do any surprise health and welfares. Well, one, because I don't want to fucking burn anybody, and number two, I don't want to have to answer questions and deal with fallout if I should find some reprehensible shit. Well, it turns out that apparently all of the wives back in the rear were all talking shit, and apparently the word had got out that some dudes were operating a still. So I get called in to talk to the commander, and he's like, hey, this is absolute horse shit. I just heard this is going on. You need to find this and stop it right now. So I'm like, sir, if you want me to go flip over bunks and tear shit up, I'll do that. But are you prepared to answer the questions and then deal with the ramifications if I should find said still? And he just kind of said, well, yeah, I want you to handle it, just do what you got to do. So I'm like, okay. So I held a formation after Chow. It's like 1830, 1900. I had everyone out there. And it was Monday. And I'm like, all right, we are going to have a health and welfare. And I heard everyone go, oh. And I finished it up by saying, on Wednesday after Chow, I will be looking for alcohol. Pray I don't find any. So apparently there was some, some secret missions to get rid of a bunch of stuff and clean it up. Now where it was, I have no idea. How much stuff they were doing, I have no idea. Don't want to know. Never did. But I never found anything either, which is good. Now, I did have an issue with one of the soldiers getting he would get booze sent to him in the mail, okay? And they would put it in a scope bottle, and they would dye it green, and, come on. The same thing with the Listerine bottle with, like, whiskey of some type. And I get called in there, and, the commander's like, take a look, stick your fingers. I'm like, that's vodka. That's some kind of bourbon. And he's just like, this bullshit, you need to fucking hammer him. I'm like, all right. Of course, I'm not going to, just walk in there and just hammer a guy for, just right off the cuff. So I go to his quarters. He doesn't have any of these bottles around his area. All right. So I pull them out in the box and I put them on his desk, and I'm like, there's a box here. sent from stateside. I believe it's one of your close relatives by the name. And there's bottles of mouthwash in here, which are alcohol. And you know you're not supposed to have that. He's like, oh, well, first of all, I have no control over what people send me. I'm like, stop talking. Just stop talking right now. Okay, I don't want to hear any soft shoe. I don't want to hear any tap dancing. I'm just going to tell you straight up. If another package comes here with a bottle of alcohol in it, I'm going to fuck you up. Bad. All right. So, I mean, if this was to get out, this would bring so much fucking scunion on us. We would never be able to get out from underneath it. And, yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons we weren't supposed to have alcohol was one of the general orders, no sex, no alcohol, because we were in a Muslim nation. Even though I had, 3rd Platoon operating out and around Victory at some of the FOBs out there, and they would do, impromptu roadblocks and pull people out of vehicles, and they'd find all kinds of Iraqis just cocked out of their head on booze. So, I mean, whatever. It's just more of that political bullshit trying to make everyone happy, and, fuck that.
Want to retire someplace on the planet where the women look like this? I thought you did, but if you want to know how, first you need to go to MGTOWbooks.com and purchase MGTOW's Guide to Retiring on 200K in Southeast Asia. Don't forget to use the promo code POPP, that's P-O-P-P, for 10% off. A link is in the description. All right,
I also folded into our defense plan formally the civilians who stayed at the end of the fucking way. And, they got a weapons card. They were given a position in the defense plan. They were given a seat on the exfil vehicles. I folded them in. It was all seamless. I mean, they're Americans. A lot of them are former enlisted. And there's no fucking way, I don't care if they're working for a civilian fucking company or whatever the fuck they're doing. If shit hits the fan, I'm not going to say, oh, fucking too bad for you. Your company should have fucking, built this into your fucking, defense plan or whatever. I'm like, fuck that. So, I mean, I did that. I mean, it worked out for them. All right. Remember I was telling you about those, the slut factory, which was the nurses who worked across the fucking fob at the cache. Well, I had one of my E4s, young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and apparently he was going over there and banging either a nurse assistant or a nurse. I don't know. All I know is his squad leader came to see me, and he's like, hey, man, specialist such and such sneaking out. He's been hanging around this one E4, and she's a nurse or works over at the cache. It's not going to go anywhere good. So I'm like, okay. So that night at chow, he's eating and she's sitting by him, and this fucking female, I shit you not, is pick the meat off the bone ugly. Okay, in Iraq terms, she's like a 5. Okay, normally if a woman goes over to Iraq and she's a 5, she's an 8. So, she was fucking beyond ugly. All scraggly, thin. I mean, just nappy. Oh, God, it was horrible. And I remember I had to leave because I lost my appetite. I was like, holy shit. So that night, I signed out some was it the PVS 7s, the night vision goggles. And I remember I'm standing up on the second fucking balcony, and I'm watching him. He kind of squanders out, fucking goes out the fucking gate. And I watch him walk across the fob in the darkness, and then he goes in through this hole that was blown early on by a Kadoosh rocket in the wall, and it was about 7 feet in diameter, so it's easily to step through. So I'm like, okay, so, I go down and get the Humvee, get my weapon, put on all my battle rattle, roll over there, and I'm parked literally right outside the hole. And he was in there for about an hour and 15 minutes. So he comes out, and I'm like, oh, specialist such and such. What a coincidence. Get in the vehicle. He's all like, oh, he knows he's trying to soft shoe or tap dance his way. I mean, I got him busted dead to rights. All right, I know the drill. So I'm like, okay, this is, I'm just going to let you know what's up. Now, I can't be everywhere all the time. I'm not going to tell you not to go over there, but I'm just going to give you a warning. I want you to remember the face of that ugly, twisted up, gorilla stick of a woman on the face of your daughter for the rest of your life. Because that's what's going on here. She wants a one-way ticket back to the States. You can give it to her via the Penis Express, and you're going to get a field grade Article 15 and probably kicked out of this fucking service. So is it worth it? You're going to have to answer those questions yourself. It is what it is. So I drove him back, parked the vehicle, went into the fucking head shed and I didn't say anything. Never mentioned it again. The next day, he cut it off fucking cold turkey on this fucking chick. She was all like upset and heartbroken and all puffy-eyed, crybaby. Fuck that shit. And about 3 months ago, I was at LA Fitness working out, and lo and behold, specialist such and such walks up. He's like in his mid-30s now. And he is a goddamn radiologist doctor. So, I fucking saved his ass right there. Because you think you'd be able to go to fucking medical school and do all that horse shit, paying child support, and deal with all the fucking head games that goes along with that fucking bullshit? Probably not. So it is what it is. God damn it. Alrighty. Alright. They would have boxing. They set up a ring, and they would have it like it was Friday or Saturday nights once a week. And, I was the first sergeant, and I had guys want to fight me. I'm like, okay. We'd all go over there with the gloves. I'd put on the gloves. They'd put on the gloves. We would fucking, touch gloves. They'd ring us in, and we would fucking go. And I thwarted a whole bunch of dudes. Not like beat them down permanently or injure them, but... beat them up enough so they know, hey, I'm the top dog in the fucking tribe. You can fight me, and I'm not going to tell you can't. But I'm going to hand you your ass. And you better fucking fight me for real and not do any bullshit, because that makes me even madder. Alright, so we had the issue go down when they had cut that one reporter's head off on Al Jazeera. Alright. And I remember I had pretty much the entire company down there in the head shed watching this shit on the fucking cable. And everyone just freaked out. Just freaked out. People were panicking. They were all upset. And people were like, going to go call their wives. I'm like, no, I called everyone back. I took them out in formation, put them in the horseshoe formation, and I said, listen, what you saw in there was some barbaric, horrible fucking bullshit. But they did everyone here in this formation a favor. And all the guys are like, what? I go, what, you don't see it? They just told us what the fucking rules are. All right? There's no more guesswork. You cannot ever be captured in any way, shape, or form. Period. It can't happen. And after that, I put out a standing order. Everywhere my men went, they carried 13 mags, 2 frag hand grenades, knife, weapon, and if they raided a pistol, they carried that too. They carried it every fucking where they went. And the standing order was, the one hand grenade was to throw, and when you ran out of ammo, that last hand grenade was for you to handle your business. Because getting your head sawed off on Al Jazeera national TV is not a good fucking thing. All right, gentlemen, that's it for me for tonight. A lot of bad memories here, and holy shit. I'll talk to you later.